Hello.
All right, we're live, fellas. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
You called this meeting. What you want to talk about?
Huh? I want to talk about a little bit of everything. I don't care.
Well, have at it then.
I'm bored. I got some new headphones. Yeah.
Are you quarantine bored, Greg?
I am quarantine bored. I mean, what do you do?
Speaking of bored,
he quit his deck building.
Yeah, how'd your deck go today?
Can we talk about? I don't even want to talk about the deck. Can we talk about how bad it is?
Hey, it's your time. You can talk whatever you want to talk about.
Well, the deck was supposed to be 8x16. I understand now why there's no deck there.
Well, yeah, because you removed it.
I removed it, and I was going to make it bigger. But now, I don't know. It's been a nightmare, but it's been a process that I've learned a lot from. So, see, team building, leadership, life lessons.
Trusting the process, right?
Trust the process. I actually have an 8x8 square. I have the foundation of the deck in place.
Okay.
What do you say, Tim? No risk it, no biscuit.
No risk it, no biscuit. Little Bruce Arians.
Dude, he's building a huge biscuit factory at this point.
Who, me?
Yes.
I've gained 30 pounds since this quarantine shit began. Terrible.
Too many biscuits?
Too many pancakes. Too many pancakes. That's the first cuss word of the podcast. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, I noticed one of us, I don't know which one it was, but one of us started following Slapdick Podcasts on Twitter the other day.
Or did they follow me? They were
if Jason Brown is following you, man, then that's sweet, because that's Coach JB from Indy Community College. That's his podcast.
Did they play in the Final Four and beat Hagerstown Community College when Chad Shears and Barry Brown were there?
No, he's the football coach from Last Chance U.
Oh, is he? And he followed me on Twitter.
That's his podcast, Slapdick Podcasts.
Man, oh, Dave, what kind of name were we thinking about?
Well, I don't think that would fly. I don't think the Herald Mail would have published.
No. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But so the NFL schedule came out tonight, guys.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I saw the Ravens have the easiest schedule. I don't know about the Redskins. We can look them up real quick.
I can tell you my Packers one is not easy.
Well, I think they're going to have a rough year.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you get the guy to replace Aaron Rodgers, like in the first part of the draft, Jordan Love.
Yeah, the 20. I don't know. Rodgers must be staying put, though.
Got too much money, and nobody's taking that contract.
Well, hey, what if it really happens though, where he truly sits for 2 years and kind of does what Rodgers did behind Favre? I mean, do you think there's any potential that's going to happen?
I think Aaron's 36. I think 36 or 37 now. And if I looked at it right, I think he's got 3 years left on his contract. I think he signed a 4-year deal. So if he's got 3 years, that gets him to almost 40. And I think that was his goal. And I think Jordan Love comes in after him and probably is pretty good. I mean, I think there is something truly to be said about guys that actually don't play right away and back up. We could probably name on one hand the guys that came in and started as a rookie and made the Hall of Fame.
Who?
Peyton would be one.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We can count on one hand. Maybe Dan Marino, did he start as a rookie or did he back up?
I want to say he came right in the league and was thrown to the Wolves. I mean, he had that rookie season where he threw for almost 50 touchdowns, and next year found himself in the Super Bowl against the 49ers.
I remember that.
Yeah.
What happened? He lost.
Hey, Joe Montana never lost one.
No, he didn't. Did he start right away out of Notre Dame?
Montana and San Francisco.
Yeah.
If it wasn't right away, it was shortly into his rookie season because they were so bad in I think they won the championship in 81. That was the year of the catch and all that. The year before that, it might have been 2 years before that, they had only won 1 or 2 games, and then they won a couple, and they really did the big steady increase. But yeah, I think Montana was thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, you can only count them a little bit. There's not a ton of dudes that started or even played as a rookie that have made the whole gambit of everything.
Let's talk about the guy for a second that is still out there, Cam Newton.
I thought he was going in New England.
Who'd he sign with? The Saints, right?
No,
he's still out there.
Winston.
Right. That was Jameis Winston. That was James. I don't get that one. I didn't think Jameis Crableg Winston was that good. I'm not a big Jameis fan.
He threw more picks than he did touchdowns. I mean, you can argue he was sacked, I think, the most times in the NFL last year. But there's no production. There's no wins. There's no, he could – I don't think anybody ever doubted the athleticism, but the rest of the stuff wasn't there. I mean, what do you do?
Right.
I mean, we all know guys that and we've talked about it already in a couple episodes. We talked about guys that have all the talent in the world and, got the measurables and can sling it or can dish it or whatever. But if the rest of the piece of it ain't there, what do you do?
No, I totally agree with you on that.
Greg, you said we need to do.
Plus, they got that Hill guy there, Taysom Hill or whatever, and they just paid him like $21 million.
They just threw him an extreme amount of money.
Yes.
Where's that at?
I think the rumor around the NFL was that they were worried that these guys are worried that if someone does get the coronavirus, the big elephant in the room, that they'll need someone to back up. So,
Well, okay, while we're talking numbers here and players, what about Andy Dalton going to the Cowboys?
Why?
Why not?
Has Dak life insurance policy?
Yeah, has Dak been healthy? It's a contract year for Dak, right? Is he holding out?
He's played every game.
Is Dak holding out though?
I think he is. I think he's going to try to pull an Ezekiel Elliott, and Jerry's smart enough to say, "Hey, I can survive without a running back. I cannot survive without a quarterback."
Yeah, I mean, it's Jerry's world. Everybody's living in it, right?
Absolutely. And really, Ezekiel killed him. Ezekiel set the tone. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. He said, "Hey, I'm not." Okay.
On my end, fellas, I cannot see number of viewers or questions. Greg, you have it up on yours. We got any questions yet? Any comments?
We got about 2 viewers.
Oh, I'm not worried about number of viewers. Does anybody got any questions or comments? We've had a couple.
Evan's in the house tonight.
McVicker's around.
We're going to show up some cards.
Well, Evan, what do you want to talk about, man? Throw some stuff in there.
Yeah, man. Mike Metz keeps throwing me facts, and I keep telling you guys, but he's afraid to type in the chat, I guess.
Ask Mike Metz why if Andy Dalton's numbers are equal to Dak's numbers.
He says that Marino is the greatest quarterback of all time. No way.
Well, you guys ever seen that old NFL films stuff? It might have been the Football Life where they're showing him in practice, and it literally sounds like a Formula One race car coming around a turn when the ball is being released from his fingers. That's how much physical, God-given ability that's what he was put on earth to do, was to sling a football. You guys ever seen that?
I have heard that he could spin it. His spin rate was ridiculous. I've heard that.
And he had the best feet in the pocket. I mean, I don't think the Dolphins ever played much defense when he was there. You had the mid-90s Dolphins, you had the late 80s Dolphins, which were pretty good, but by the time the early to mid-90s rolled around, I mean, Dan was beat the heck up, and it just kind of was what it was, right? I mean, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, Jimmy Johnson gave life to the franchise there a little bit in the late '90s, but that was kind of a short run too.
What did he do at Pitt? What did they do there? Did they suck too?
They were really good at Pitt, if I remember right.
Yeah, I want to say they were a top 5, top 10 program.
That's like the best they ever were.
Yeah. I mean, and a bunch of his offensive linemen that he played with found their way into the league. I mean, obviously he's a couple years after the Tony Dorsett years at Pitt, numerous years, but no, Pitt was one of the best teams on the East Coast. Period. But you wouldn't remember that, Greg, because you were born in like 1994.
Hey, I can't say anything. I mean, the greatest athlete I ever saw was Todd Frazier.
Todd Frazier.
He's the greatest athlete I've ever seen.
Aren't you guys like Instagram DM buddies? Like, don't you talk to him all the time?
Oh, no, not anymore. We were like ICQ buddies in 2000 and the year 2000 probably. Right after the 98 World Series. So I somehow found him on ICQ and we talked for a little bit.
Todd Frazier's done pretty well for himself. Greg, you were all jacked up today.
He just signed another big deal. He's going to have a good year. If he's done, he might as well retire.
Well, for the Mets? Is that who he's playing for now?
No, he got signed by the Rangers, I believe. Yeah.
Greg, you were all jacked up today. You got your new headphones. You want to try out. You had a couple things when you got off your chest. What do you want to talk about, man?
What about can we go outside of sports for a minute or no? I mean, this is about life, about sports.
Well, this is a family program as long as we keep it clean, right?
Correct. Family, always family, always PG. I mean, school is out for the summer. Well,
no.
Online learning has started.
The physical buildings are shut down until June the 10th or a little bit after.
Yeah. Wildcat football has taken a halt. We're waiting to see what happens there.
I don't think it's just Wildcat football. I mean, I think everybody's in this boat. I mean, we're trying to do some things behind the scenes to get our kids connected and get them competing and working. And, it's like any situation, though. We know who has been working. We know who hasn't. Obviously, summer and the fall will tell all. But I would be lying if I didn't say, who knows what the fall is going to look like. You guys saw the plan that Larry Hogan rolled out. I mean, we don't know what regular school is going to look like. What
plan did he roll out? He did a whole bunch of bubbling and didn't do anything other than open a golf course and a tennis court. Nothing even open today.
Well, you can go boating, but you got to fish. So all these guys running around here with their Supras today, I don't know where they were going unless they're going to throw the rod out the back of it.
Well, they might.
I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, and I'm picking on Governor Hogan. I think he's done a pretty good job by keeping the number of people that have gotten ill and passed away and infected through this thing. But at some point, we got to open the front doors a little bit and get back to some track of normalcy.
Well, you would like to think that the work we've done, the work that the stuff been put in place the last 2 months, hopefully has kept the numbers low enough that now everybody, here we are, we're on the cusp of summer. We really are. We're on the cusp of summer, and everybody's want to get out and want to get going, want to do some things. So hopefully that's the case.
Well, the weather's not helping either. I mean, you teach, I was my itinerant, so the school system decided that with no students in the building, they were just going to kind of give me an early summer break, which is what I was on summer vacation starting today. And luckily it was about 70 degrees in the sun, so I could get my beach on a little bit in my front yard.
Yeah.
Chad, are you going to Ocean City this weekend?
No, I'm not going to go down. No, I can't go down.
There's no hotel rooms, but you can go down there and enjoy the 48-degree weather. It'd be nice and breezy.
Well, I'm thinking more like going down. I'm thinking about going down like next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Is that when the sun and the heat are coming?
It's going to be 78 next Thursday. 78 and sunny, which means that's going to be pretty nice.
Evan said Wildcat football is still going to go 7-3 or 8-2 this year.
Well, I tell you what, nobody's had our back more than McVicker over the years. So, Evan, I love you. We all love you. You know that.
Coach Rick Suter's on.
but
Nick Shooter tonight.
But we don't know.
Hope all is well, Coach.
I mean, Coach Shooter's on.
Coach Shooter.
Rick Shooter.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick. The Nat says hi. I played Pony League baseball for Rick. Rick gave me the nickname Nat because I was a little pain in his backside there in the dugout and in the on the baseball field.
What do you have you do all the time, bunt?
No, I would remember. I said I was like an age differential messed up, so I played second base and batted like 10th.
Gotcha.
I wasn't even the extra. They had the extra hitter hitting ahead of me.
I played for Wayne Hose, Elks. The funny part about Pony League is my 13-year-old year, we were okay, but TJ Hose was on the same team. He was 14, but he was 13 too. And then we had the first pick of the draft, I guess, and got Nick. So my 14-year-old year in Pony League, I think Rick would know. He was there. We went like 23-1 or something, and I lost the one game pitching. Those guys would go 3-4 every single night. One would pitch 4 and then 3 and then
and that was I guess you could probably say a little bit older than that was more the golden age of Hagerstown Pony League. But I remember being down there and there was 10, 12 teams at one point. Two divisions, and we were playing double headers in the evenings. You either had the early game or the late game, and just quality of baseball was great. It was a lot of fun.
Was it like 5:45 and 7:45 starts?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right? Something like that, right?
But that second game didn't start till 9:30.
You catch that late game on a Tuesday night, and parents are dragging your butt out of bed the next morning.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
God bless our parents for putting up with it.
I remember. Well, Rick had a lot of those all-star. They had those all-star tournaments, and you couldn't get a parking spot within a mile of that place.
No, I mean, they were just parking up there at the Tony Papa's bar and just walking down the hill.
That's the old sheets up on the hill.
Yeah. Wow, times have changed.
Well, I mean, Greg, you and I had a chance to coach in the league last year, and my son was 13, and you helped out. We had a great time. We enjoyed those kids. It just wasn't the same, though. I tell anybody that's just the honest truth. It just wasn't the same. Baseball is not the same. It's not the same in the areas it was when we were growing up.
I know they just like Little League. They announced that their World Series was over too. So no World Series this year.
Well, you're coaching baseball. What are they telling you guys? What are they telling you guys, Little League wise, that you guys are looking back to starting? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. When I talked to our president, like I said Sunday, I mean, we had to wait, but first, if we're going with school and it's not, I don't know. At this point, I'm wondering if and when. Do you think it's good if Little League starts up? Do you think Little League should start up?
I think the difficulty is going to be the dugout. I think baseball and golf or in tennis would be the only 3 sports that will have limited contact. I think you go do others. Huh?
Why golf?
Well, I mean, not many people are hitting limited contact. So, but baseball, other than the dugout, is pretty limited contact if you think about it. Like, you're not really close to anybody a lot.
Hey, Maggie, I need a haircut.
And this is, I didn't hear this in any official capacity. This is not coming from somebody that we work for or anything like that. I know some school systems in the state, and it's kind of becoming a national thing. What are your thoughts about basically the spring sports that were cut off this spring happened in the fall, and then what would have normally have happened in the fall happen next spring? So like this coming fall, you would see baseball, track, softball, tennis. And in the spring, then you would see football, soccer, volleyball, cross country. And then the following summer, fall, it would kind of all reset. That would be an interesting dynamic. Well, how do you feel about that, Chad?
I'll put on my coaching hat first, and then I'll put on my fan hat second. Coaching wise, I'd love it because I don't have any kids that play any spring sports. Where in the fall, I have a lot of kids that are involved in football.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give me early opportunity to get them in shape. And they'd be around, more weightlifting open gyms than they would be leading into season. But as a fan, I mean, I think it's going to be tough to ask your bodies. Your kids' bodies better than I would, but it's going to be tough to have them play a spring season, take off about 12 weeks and rev those bodies right back up to be pounded on again come August. I mean, I just think that's a lot. I mean, we're talking kids here. I mean, because the argument's going to be what happens at the college level. Yeah, it does. You're right. You're also talking about grown men. You're also talking about high-level nutritionists, high-level trainers,
right.
Rehab that gets you back. And I'm not talking rehab from injuries. I'm talking just getting their bodies right and, the game readies and the chambers and the hot tubs and stuff. So I think as a fan, I have a tough time with it. As a coach, obviously, I'm a little biased. I'll be able to get a couple of my kids early, which would be kind of cool.
Well, Tim, I mean, how the baseball season is only like 6 weeks long at most, right?
Well, I'd be perfectly fine with those kids getting the opportunity to play more baseball if that's what it means. I know, my 10-plus years of coaching high school football, I don't care how great your season is, how much fun you've had, with the kind of the year-round stuff that happens, there has to be a little bit of a separation and a break at the end of that year. Like, obviously you want to be a part of a team or coach a team that gets into the playoffs and makes a run. You want to be a part of all those things. One of the best things we ever did with our strength and conditioning, our off season was, I remember a couple years ago, we had kids that were like, we were finished the second week of November. And like the first week of December, they were, Coach, I want to lift. I want to, and you never want to cut your kids off. But the last 2 years, we basically said nothing until after July 1, take the time off. Obviously, for the kids who are playing winter sports, it allows them to go head first into that, which, we're full support of anyway. But, there's other kids that don't, and it's funny. It's not funny, but it's just the way things are where, rest, recuperation, recharge is a real thing. It's a real thing for coaches. I mean, we had kind of a roller coaster this year in Williamsport this past fall. And, I needed a little bit of a break. Everybody needed a little bit of a break. Every single one of our coaches on the coaching staff needed a break. And
I'll just laugh at that one.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Coach, let me ask you this question. Here's just something I thought about, as Tim said, 6 weeks. And this is something I would propose. I'd probably have every coach in town be like, absolutely not. We would never think about doing that. But what if we were to have baseball from, let's just say, they start a little earlier. So you'll go like the last week and a half, 2 weeks of August, all of September, a little bit in October. And basically, we'll just say mid-October is the state final, okay? And football goes all of November and all of December. You only get 8 weeks. Right. So you'll play like maybe just 7 games and we'll get into a playoff format of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And basketball, we'll play 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is you start after January, you play 2 games a week for 9 weeks.
Okay.
And one of those weeks, you get a third game twice. That gets you your 20. That would get you to the end of February, which is when playoffs start for us anyway. Now we're into March. We can roll right back into baseball in the spring with no issues. And I don't think it would hurt. I mean, and maybe you overlap a little bit with football. Maybe you guys start early and you got kids that are taking swings up the hill and then they're coming down and hitting pads or vice versa, But I don't think that would be a bad thing. And I don't mind for 1 year starting after January, because I have a feeling, for me, I'm biased because our gym gives us, as you guys have been there as fans, it gives us a nice sixth man. Like, we have good crowds. It's loud. There's a lot of emotion to play off of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe we're going to be able to have fans in the gymnasium till after January 1 anyway. I'll be honest with you. I bet you we play empty gyms until then. It'll be like a scrimmage setting, the teams and the officials, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think I can speak for on the football side, hopefully the community at large in the area, as far as high school goes, that I'd rather see a shortened season than no season at all, just because of you never want to see. I mean, I know the kids this spring have gone through it, but you never want to see a kid lose an entire season. You just in football, it's unique to football that those kids, a lot of kids work almost year round, or if they're in another sport and then they're right into football stuff, whatever it is, for very few opportunities to compete. I mean, that's one of the reasons I loved baseball and basketball growing up as a kid, because if I stunk on Tuesday night, I had another shot on Friday. Football is a little bit unique and all those things that comes into that. So I would absolutely be okay with a shortened season rather than I've already had conversations with my AD and other people involved. It's like, if, some of my coaches, if we find ourselves not having a season, it's like, it would be very depressing. Let's just say that.
Well, and I've never played football. I mean, and obviously going to Goretti, you guys know that, but you can play basketball in the summer competitively and still get recruited. You can play baseball at different times and showcase tournaments, Legion Ball, Senior League, whatever, and still get looked at and recruited. The last time the majority of the people put on the pads is high school. Only a select few are able to go play at the next level.
6-7% period, yeah.
There's no AAU tournaments in the summertime that guys can go play in to get an opportunity to still be seen to play football. And you and I both know, as you've had Ty and I've had a couple of guys, you send them these camps, these one-day clinics where they go down and they learn to do some technique, and then the Maryland coaches or the GW coaches watch you and they try to see how you retain information, respond fast, and then you play. We all know that's not the real game. Like, that's just little tidbits to see if you're truly maybe capable. So if you don't have the season, you're talking about an entire wash of kids not getting recruited for that sport, which is going to be like 4 years in the running. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The number one piece in the football recruiting side of it is, and unless you are the Brian Breezy, the kid from Damascus, who was the number one, recruit in the country, the key is your junior film, your junior year film. And yes, that's what gets them interested in you to then pursue. What does your GPA look like? What is your character like? What are your practice habits like? But it truly is that film that opens up that door for you. And if kids don't have their junior year film, it's tough. I know we have some young kids in Williamsport. They're looking forward to getting out there and showing something this year. And, it's definitely a concern. It's definitely something to think about. I would absolutely support a shortened season over something being cut.
And to be honest with you, I would support a shortened season too. I mean, I know coaches might not like that, but 15, 16 games, you still can gain a lot going into playoffs in that. I mean, let's just be real. And honestly, for us at South, the Christmas break kills us.
Yeah, you could have momentum coming out of November, early December, and then there's a layoff.
And for my first 2 years, it happened. You would be playing excellent, and then you get to Christmas break, and like the entire wheels fall off the bus, and you're like, scraping along, and then you got to gain the momentum. It's hard.
The Christmas tournaments are nice and fun, but it's not the same.
They're a thing in the past.
Yeah, they kind of are. Greg and I talk all the time about like
what they used to be.
The Richard E. Dowd tournament, Williamsport. I know, in the area of public, that was as good as it got, and you were always looking forward to those 2 nights during Christmas holiday, and that gym was always packed.
Oh, absolutely. And I've enjoyed playing it for 2 years. And really the reason we didn't play in it this last year was Ryan and I decided that we were going to do a home and away. And we really didn't want to see each other the third time. That didn't make any sense. I don't know what we're going to do this coming year. I mean, I get, the Richard Dow where you play the 2 games and then the winners meet, but I mean, you could almost do a showcase for 1 year just to get our schedules wrapped up right. But I think the more local teams you have in it, the better. That's just my personal opinion. It makes it kind of fun. It's a good battle. But yeah, like I said, to me, a shortened heck, why don't we could have that as the kickoff tournament? I mean, your kickoff basketball season could start like in a Dow Classic or something like that. It'd be like a public school MAIT, and then you're right into season. So
The old MAIT. So what? I woke up this morning to South Korean baseball with no fans. Did any of you see that?
I've seen the clips of it on sports.
Oh,
yeah, just a little bit of the highlights.
Shin Ming Wong was pitching, and Hideki Matsuyama was. It was crazy, but I mean, you really. I know there wasn't any fans there. You really couldn't tell. I mean, they can. I know, and then Carl Ravitch was talking the whole time about how, what are they going to do MLB wise in their negotiations? I guess now.
Well, I saw this afternoon MLB, one of their proposals is they're going to ask players to take a pay cut because of, 160-some games of the revenue.
The players have said they already have.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have to because TV pays baseball stuff. If I'm not mistaken, it's the TV rights that pay it.
What, baseball?
Yeah,
football is more TV.
Think about it.
Football and the NBA.
Both. I mean, think about it. If you live in, we don't because we're kind of out in Western Maryland, but if you live in D.C., every Wizards game's on television. And we probably get them up here like MSN or MASN or whatever.
Yeah.
But you think about it.
Comcast Sports.
You got 82 games of NBA basketball. You got 162 for the Nats and 162 for the Orioles. They don't miss a game. That's right. That's where that money's at that turns around and pays these guys these massive contracts.
Yeah.
Those teams are getting $200-300 million a season on that. I mean, right now, if the Nats wanted to be bozos, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Angelos group, evidently Peter Angelos is really struggling, like with health. So his sons have kind of taken over, started running the business. They owe the Nationals $380 million.
Yes. I saw that last year
in back television deals. If the Nats wanted to be bozos, the O's are gone. They're either going to go to Vegas or there's going to be a group that's going to buy them and move them out of Baltimore.
Wow, that's like a doomsday scenario
that would be
city of Baltimore.
Yeah.
It would be awful, but there's one guy, he was one of my favorite players of all time, if not my favorite baseball player, is in contract negotiations to try to buy it, but the Angelos guys really don't want to sell it to him. But if he were to buy the team, I think it would revive Baltimore baseball, and that's Cal Ripken and his group are trying to buy the Orioles.
They're gonna become the Baltimore Ironbirds.
Well, he's done a tremendous job of keeping himself relevant. I know the people of Baltimore love Cal Ripken and for all those reasons, and he'll always be who he is, but he's always there. He's always around. He's always a part of it. He's always, one of my wife's, she was a huge Cal Ripken fan growing up. One of her famous moments is she got to meet him in the walkway, the club section there in Camden Yards a couple years back. Got his autograph.
Yep.
But
weren't you guys at 20-30 or one of those?
I was at game 20, 21-29. I think she was at 21-30.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I was at 21-12. I had the fortune to coach against Cal's son, Ryan, when he played basketball at Gilman, and I was coaching at Goretti, and Ryan Ripken came to town, and Cal showed up with his bodyguards and sat in the corner right behind me on the bench.
Wow.
I mean,
I remember when he played for the Suns and Cal, that area down the right field line for parties, Cal would go down there and stand by himself, and they cut it off so no one could get to it.
I'll be honest with you. Do you guys remember that picture in the Herald Mail of Ryan playing first base and Cal behind him with his cell phone turned sideways, taking a picture of his kid playing pro ball? Do you guys remember that?
I think so.
That is iconic. To me, it is because you're looking at a guy that was like Mr. Maryland. Everybody in the state knew who he was.
I gotta take the dog out. I'll be right back. Hang tight. Keep talking.
And he, and it's one of those situations, Greg, where now he's a fan. And that's pretty cool to me. You look at that and you're like, oh, wow, that makes a big difference. So,
No, I mean, I was a Yankee fan growing up, but, Cal.
You got Mr. Consistency, and I get in arguments all the time about that, who the greatest shortstop of all time is.
And Derek Jeter?
I think it is. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Numbers-wise, I guess he's not, but I guess it's dog time. I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
We got dogs on the podcast, too. I mean, numbers-wise, he's got over 3,000 hits. But the fact that he's the leader, and the amount of championships is what sets him apart.
It's the way he carried himself. I mean, think about this. We talk about perception. We talk about leadership. We talk about life. He played in the most dynamic city of media. 0 scandals.
Nothing negative.
No flub ups. Nothing, right? And he did it at a level that is unbelievable. And he was first class the whole time. I mean, you don't think about that. That doesn't happen a lot. I mean, and I can't stand the guy he's a good player. He's very, very good. I'm just not a big fan of him. But LeBron's had 0 scandals. Not saying he's not doing anything goofy, but there's no scandals that have come out. And the number I saw is he makes $195 to date. He's made $195,000 a week since the age of 18. Now, that's nothing compared to this stat I read today. You ready for this one? Since we're talking
Mike
all
Trout
over the board today. No, this isn't Mike Trout. Oh. This is that Bezos guy, Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon.
Oh, Amazon, yeah. He is
the first human that's going to become a trillionaire. He continues at the pace he's at. In 2025, he's a trillionaire. You want to know how much money he made today?
Well, how much money does ex-wife make?
Well, she made $38 billion in the divorce.
Wow.
But he made today $215 million today himself.
Just today. He made
$215 million a day is what
do you do with that? What do you even do with that money?
No, I mean, I broke it out over 24 hours. He's making $8.9 million an hour. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, no lie. I would work for like 15 minutes and be happy with that. Tim, I dropped some large statistical financial numbers here.
Yeah, we turned quarantine into Amazon and how.
Hey, Jeff Bezos going to make an appearance? Today? Huh?
Yeah. Did you see Jeff Bezos' number today, Tim?
What, as far as his personal wealth?
Yeah, he made $215 million today alone, and he'll make another $215 million tomorrow.
You guys seen that old picture of him sitting in a warehouse when Amazon first started?
Yes.
Like sitting up on the 4th floor of some weird warehouse outside of wherever, and just kind of like literally had a sheet up there with Amazon.com.
I was going to say,
on
the side. Piece of paper. Yep.
Yeah.
They're about to. I mean, they started home delivery and all now. In other places, they're about to shut down FedEx and UPS too.
Oh, they run the world.
I mean, I have an Amazon Prime account. It's easy. You click a button, the thing's paid for. It's here in 2 days. And I don't pay for it. Honestly, my credit card company thinks it's awesome. My wallet doesn't. I mean, it's really that easy, though. He's made it seamless to be able to purchase things.
Well, I mean, you're getting paid what? $26,000 a week right now. Unemployment, you'd be good, just like the rest of America.
I still got to get a claim at this point.
Jesus.
I'm one of 3. Now we can talk those numbers. I'm one of 380,000 people in the state of Maryland has yet to claim a one finance. There's about 500,000 people that are on unemployment in the state right now, and 380,000 have yet to receive a dime.
Oh, shoot. Old Butternuts came on. I apologize, Ryan. He drives for FedEx Ground. They'll never shut down.
Who does Amazon have their contract with? Are they with FedEx? Are they with UPS, U.S. Postal Service? Who's Amazon have their big contract with?
I want to say it's UPS, but I could be wrong. I want to say it's them.
I mean, because they roll their own distribution, but they still got to go. Is Amazon going to soon be delivering door to door?
Yes.
Wow. It's not going to be using
like Charlotte. I think
Charlotte.
My buddy lives in Charlotte. He said he was going to quit teaching and go do it.
Well, so a couple of my guys that played for me at Shenandoah, that's what they do. They basically like rent a van and go do it. So
wow.
You just use a drone, I guess, too.
A drone? We're going to shop with it, drop off with a drone. It's going to drop it to your house.
Drive the drone.
You send your drones to Morgansville to check out Greg Small.
Yeah, and you can check out my deck while you're at it. All that.
So, Greg, you were all fired up today. What else, man? What do you want to talk about?
What do you mean fired up, though? I think this has been the best one we've had yet, you know?
Well, it's a little loose. I mean, we don't have anything locked in, and, you know,
right.
We're just kind of hanging. And, I mean, you know, you're actually – technically you're actually working, Greg. You're clocked in at this point.
Am I actually doing something? I know last week I was on for like 10 minutes, and that was it. Ryan Fry says they already are. They have delivery out of Hollands Ferry Road in Baltimore. So they have their own contract, their own people.
That's crazy.
Ryan, they're going to take over. They're going to take over soon.
They already run the world, so whatever.
Yes. $250 million at a time.
I mean, I want to make sure I'm giving this number right because I don't want to be putting false information out here on the podcast. But I'm positive that I sent that message to you guys today on Instagram. I want to make sure I gave you the right number, though. Here we go. Jeff Bezos is on pace to become the first trillionaire by 2026. As of recent, sales have spiked during this pandemic. Bezos' worth is going to reach $1 trillion in 2026. He gave his ex-wife $38 billion in the divorce, but he makes $215 million a day and showing no signs of slowing down. He had a company had a $4 billion quarter to his wallet. He made $4 billion during the pandemic. Maybe that dude should run for president. He seems to be making things work during this pandemic. Nothing shutting down there. I mean, people have to be stocking the boxes, shipping the boxes. They haven't shut down work.
And at what point does he have a personal responsibility to give it back? I mean,
well, that's my take on it a little bit. I mean, I remember, you know, and we'll tie all this back into some sports, but I remember when Chris Davis was trying to figure out whether he needed to sign that gargantuan strikeout contract that he's on.
Mm-hmm.
He was on like that delay for a little bit, right? I remember reading the Baltimore Sun. Buck Showalter called him and said, at what point can you not buy anything you want on any given day?
Right.
And Chris said, I can buy anything I want, anytime I want. He goes, then you need to decide, are you going to be a Baltimore Oriole or not? Because I'm tired of this mess. And that's why I love Buck. I think Buck was a great manager from that perspective. But, I mean, $215 million in a day? Like, what? Like I told Tim or Greg before you got back on, I'd work for 15 minutes and retire.
Yeah. I mean,
he's making $9 million an hour over 24 hours. 15 minutes, I'd be okay. Maybe a half an hour.
Yes, if you look at all of the huge entrepreneurs, the businessmen over the last 150 years, if people have made it, they end up giving it back. I mean, you know, people blame Bill and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and all that, but like, at what point do you not? You know, what point is enough of enough? Is enough enough? Greg, I think we had a question from Mike Metz. Yeah, maybe in messages.
What's high school sports going to look like this fall, he says? You talked about it a little bit earlier. We don't know. I mean, it's a great question. You two are the coaches.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't I don't know what's going to happen with football. I think basketball-wise, I'm not going to see my kids until August. I think they're going to lock the facilities down. I don't think we're going to have weightlifting. I don't think we're going to have open gyms. I don't think we'll have anything until August. What do you think, Tim?
You know, I want to see what happens after this June 10th school closure thing. I think I said it last week, the other day, if we can get our kids in the middle of June, we can basically have our normal 8-week summer program that we've done the last couple of years and the normal things. We're already way behind the 8 ball because right now we should be rolling into like 7-on-7 season as far as installing our pass concepts and with our skill kids and our coverages on defense. So, you know, I think everybody across the board is going to have to be into simplification mode. You know, it's high school sports. It's not what you run, it's how you run it, and how good can you teach it? How well can you get your kids to execute more than the other side? Is your culture better than the other teams? That's normally, Chad, we've talked about that. That's normally the way it goes. But it's going to be, I worry about, and Chad, you see with basketball, it's definitely with football because we have so many kids and our communities are changing. I worry about trying to get some kids re-engaged that need structure, need routine, right now need to be in school, need to be in a sport after school or weightlifting after school. They feed off that routine and structure. So I worry about some of our kids. You know, I check in with our kids a lot. My other coaches, we're all checking in and doing things. But I lose a little bit of sleep over that for sure. So I worry about that level of engagement piece.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, you know, with we got great kids at South. They just don't have the same support systems you and I grew up with, and it's extremely difficult because their lives depend on us. I know that sounds crazy, and people look at me like I have 3 heads when I say that. But at the end of the day, these guys still reach out to me. I'm sure your phone still rings at different times, Tim. Like, hey, coach, I don't know how to do this. Hey, coach, I don't know how to do that. You know, and we're on not summer break, but it kind of feels like it. And these guys are already reaching for it now. We're only in mid-May, or actually early part of May. So it's going to be a long summer if we're not able to get back with these dudes and get them into a routine of some kind.
Yeah, I was shaking the tree today. I had about 40 kids that I checked in with regarding grades this morning. And, you know, some of the kids, it's like how it is every day. Some kids do okay with not a whole lot of structure, and some kids need structure. They need routine. So yes. That's the stuff keeps me up at night.
Yep. What keeps Greg up at night?
His deck.
Not my deck.
South Korean baseball.
South Korean baseball at 6:00 tomorrow morning. Carl Ravitch play-by-play from his home in Bristol, Connecticut. If you aren't doing anything.
So hold up. He's doing play-by-play from like thousands of miles away. What is this, Bull Durham? Like the guy listening to it on the telephone, cracking the bat? I guess it was going through their TV feed. Carl was doing a play-by-play here. It was cool. And they're pretty good too. Well, they win the Little League World Series all the time. How are they going to be bad?
What?
The South Koreans are always in the Little League World Series final. How are they going to be bad? There's good baseball over there.
Yeah, there is. And then the one guy, they showed one highlight, some American guy. I don't know, though. I know some people go over there and play.
Was it Tom Selleck, Mr. Baseball?
Mr. Baseball.
When's this big golf thing supposed to kick off with Tiger and Phil and all the rest of them? When is that supposed to happen?
It's been finalized. I thought it was early June sometime.
I mean, I don't get a chance to play golf like I used to, but
I know BlackRock opened today, didn't it?
Oh, Krabby was all over Facebook, letting it out there.
Golf director out there.
Yeah, the governor said we could play golf. All he's trying to do there is hook up the chiropractic world that's been off for a while.
Well, you can have elective surgery. You can go get a chiropractor. You can go get your back checked on. Go get your nose fixed and all. I mean, hey, I need
to get your nose fixed at a chiropractor.
No, not a but you can go get your elective surgeries, whatever that means. Has anybody looked at the death toll today?
I stay away from that stuff.
I looked at the what? The death toll.
The death toll. Why?
Well, the CDC hasn't given the correct numbers in 7 weeks, so I'm not going to look at that death
Greg's
toll.
got a big piece of graph paper in his bedroom where he's just charting the numbers every day.
I'm just checking it all.
You look at the death toll like you look at building your deck out back destructively.
Hey, did you ever find that ever the 2x6?
I've got 2x10s, 2x6s, 2x8s. I even got a 2x10x2 out there if you need one. Literally, it's a 2x10, but it's 2 inches.
Hey, you got to measure twice, cut once, buddy.
But it's terrible. Life, quarantining is what they say.
Well, fellas, it's about 9:30. I'm spent.
You got to get up. Yeah, I got to get up and get. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice out again. Nor'easter's coming.
Nor'easter.
I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow all day. Another 100% rain day.
Rain and 48 degrees. I'm kind of glad that Little League hasn't started because I don't know how many games we get in anyway.
Yeah, we always got this in May.
In April probably rained 28 out of 30 days. Snow tomorrow night, Mike Metz said. The Super Bowl could slide if needed. But God bless Roger Goodell. He's gonna take a stab at this. He's gonna put fans in the seats and be the man who, if it all works out, saves America.
He's gonna reopen America.
He's gonna reopen America.
We all know he doesn't care. Let the booze rain down, he says.
He was letting the booze rain.
Let him. All right, fellas. Well, I'm probably out for the night. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to hit button on the end live feed. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. Greg, you got any parting words?
I'll see y'all on Sunday, 8 o'clock.
Yep. Greg, you got any parting words?
No. Have a great night.
All right. See ya.
Life on the deck.